Hello guys and welcome back. My name is Patrick. This is Patchworks. Doing a quick informational video, not like my normal stuff, should be really quick. I just wanted it to be out there on the interwebs so that other people who run into this issue might be able to find it. I did make a post on the Modern Vespa forum as well. If you look up Malossi ForceMaster 2.1, I believe it's the 2017 to 2023 Vespa Primaveras, the 125s or the 150s. If you're installing the Malossi Big Bore 183/185cc, depends on what website you look at, but it's the model number is the exact same, the 183 and the 185cc, air-cooled for the 3-valve I-Jet engine. You're going to need the Malossi ForceMaster 2.1. Now, the instructions in the Malossi ForceMaster 2.1 are not great, manageable except for one thing. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown. It comes with most of the connectors, but I would suggest getting better ones. I'm going to show you in just a sec. So for the installation, I would encourage you to get either a solderable or solder-free. This is a crimp butt-end connector for thin gauge wires, and it is waterproof. Just to be safe, you want it to be waterproof. You know, you can heat gun or hit it with a lighter to shrink it after you crimp it. Get yourself a crimper. If you're doing any sort of low voltage electrical stuff, just get yourself a crimper. And then these wire tap connectors, I think the brand name is PosiTap, but these are not that. These are whatever AutoZone had. I have the boot removed, and I'm gonna show you in here real quick what you're going to want to do. So with the Malossi 2.0, they provide these like snap end connectors, and they're not great. You really have to wrench down on them. They're pretty easy to break, and they don't give a great electrical connection. If you're running into issues with the unit not getting power, even though you're tapped into the brake light power as they suggest, or the signal is bad to the throttle position, most likely it's because of those crappy connectors. So instead, I would suggest you use these PosiTaps. Has a sharp little wire on one side that you stab into what you're trying to tap into. So for the throttle cables, not the cables, the throttle position cables, you would tap into that, and then this side you just strip the Malossi wire. You cut off that flat connector tab they have, strip the wire back maybe 1/4 of an inch, feed it through the hole, and tighten it down. You're gonna have a much stronger connection. With that being said, I'm gonna take you in, I'm gonna try to show you what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about, and specifically these wires right here. So these are the throttle position wires. It tells the ECU and the Malossi ECU what position your throttle is in. 0, mid, full, and anywhere along that. Stock Vespa's ECU uses it, as well as the Malossi ForceMaster. Now this is what I'm talking about. So there are two wires, and just follow the diagram on that Malossi provides for which ones to tap into. But this is how you'll use those PosiTaps, and that is what I would suggest you do. The same thing, and I'm not going to break it open, but there's one screw that unscrews from the back under the shell here that releases your tail light. You're going to tap into the power there. That's what Malossi suggests, at least. These are the two that go to the Malossi unit itself. And then on the other side of the engine bay, so guys, this right here is the male fuel injector connector that goes back to the Malossi unit. This is not the Vespa's male injector, right? The Vespa's male injector is attached to the injector itself. You interrupt that with this Malossi ForceMaster. This is the male connector that goes back to the Malossi unit, and disregard the rest of the wires that I snipped as I was trying to troubleshoot this myself. But this is what you'll have to do. This is what comes in the Malossi unit. Comes with an extra one, which is what I swapped out trying to troubleshoot, but this is what it looks like. There's a white and a red wire. In the 2017 to the 2023 Vespa Primaveras, there's the only ones that it's good for. You're going to have to cut these two wires and swap those connections. So you're going to have to cut the red and the white wire going to the Malossi unit and the other injector, and you're going to connect this red wire to this white wire and this white wire to this red wire. And what you're going to want to use are those waterproof crimp butt end connectors right here for a good connection. So if you don't swap those wires, when you plug in your Malossi ForceMaster 2.1, an error code, a diagnostic code is going to come up on your ForceMaster. When you go to the diagnostic menu, it's going to say ING1 OC, which means injector 1 out of connection. When you go to start up the Vespa, it's not going to start, and if you try it long enough, you're going to get a check engine light, which is going to be saying that your injector's not working. So after you install your Malossi big bore kit, before you install the ForceMaster, you're going to want to run the Vespa briefly to make sure it fires up before putting in the ForceMaster, just to troubleshoot in case you had messed something up reconnecting all the wires. So once you've installed the big bore kit and you've run the Vespa briefly, revved it 2-3 times, it's going to be running lean, so you don't want to drive it like that. Revved it 2-3 times, made sure that it's running, no lights pop up on the dash. Then you want to go and install the Malossi ForceMaster 2.1. If you leave this as is, inject it, connect it the exact way that Malossi tells you to connect it, this will run a diagnostic code saying it's not connected to the injector. You're going to run a check engine light saying the same exact thing. Once you cut the red and the white wire and swap them with these butt end connectors, then when you turn on your Vespa before starting the engine, it's still going to say the injector is not connected on your diagnostics on the Malossi ForceMaster 2.1. I'll show you in just a sec. But when you actually run the Vespa, it will start up and it'll run. Once the engine is running, the diagnostic code goes away, the ForceMaster recognizes the injector, and everything runs great. Then you can get into dialing in your exact tune. We're not going to get into that because I'm still exploring that myself. That is it. If you were running into an error with your 2017 to 2023 Vespa Primaveras when installing the big bore kit and the Malossi ForceMaster 2.1, that is what's going on. You need to, long story short, cut these two wires, swap them, and use better posi tap wires to tap into those other wires that you need to. The other thing you're going to want to do, you can like Velcro this to the inside of the, to the inside somewhere. What I chose to do and what Malossi suggests is I drilled 2 holes and then I just kind of filed it down just to make it, not cut the wires, not super necessary. But I drilled 2 big holes, connected it so that you can then come and feed these 2 wires through. I keep the ForceMaster inside the boot. Keeps it waterproof, and as I am messing with the tune a little bit, trying to dial it in, the ForceMaster's right here. I can pop the boot, go add +2, -2% fuel somewhere along the RPM range, and you're good to go. The last thing I'll say is, for this model year, you don't use this 3rd port. From what I understand, 2024 and newer, you do. That is a totally different setup. You use the same ForceMaster 2.1, but it comes with a different wiring harness. You got to plug it in differently, stuff like that. I'm not familiar with that, so I'm sorry, guys. I can't help you with that troubleshooting. Once this is plugged in, this is what it reads when you first turn it on without turning on the ignition. Malossi 2.1. Now you see that dot right there? That is saying there's a diagnostic code. So disregard that. I'm going to go over ID. All right. So that's, or D rather. It's diagnostic. Injector 1 OC. Ooh, let's see then. Injector 1 OC. But once you actually start up, oh, I never reconnected the injector. Let's reconnect that. It's still saying injector 1. I reconnected that injector. The check engine light is gone. But that's what'll happen if you hook it up normally. And then we'll start it real quick, and I'm going to stop it because I don't want to open up and release all the heat in the garage. Right? Cool. So that's how it goes. Well, listen, guys, that's it for this video. I should have already released my main video for this week. I just wanted to put out that PSA in case anyone else is trying to troubleshoot this themselves and can't really find it out because I couldn't find it anywhere. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you use this and it helped you out, drop a like. I really appreciate it. Leave me a comment if I messed something up. I don't believe I did. If you guys know of a better way to wire in that stuff or anything like that, let me know in the comments as well. I'm totally open to suggestions. This is just what I was able to do to get it work for me. So thank you guys so much, and I'll catch you on the next one.